Traditionally, sandblasting was carried out using only sand, but now in the 21st century, the power and flexibility of this kind of abrasive technique means that sandblasting abrasives have been developed, and now a variety of different materials can be used depending on the job that needs to be done. There are lighter abrasives, such as walnut husks, through to glass beads for really heavy-duty tasks. It's possible to get a much better result every time. While sifted sand was traditionally used as the main sandblasting abrasive, it has recently fallen out of favor for a number of reasons. The main deficiency is the dust that is released when conventional silica sand is blasted onto a surface. It can be toxic and cause a lung condition called silicosis. This disadvantage of sand as a sandblasting abrasive means that whenever it is used, extensive protective clothing must be worn, and other precautions such as masks and breathing gear are essential. Sandblasting operations can be overlooked when preparing safety plans because they're generally a small part of a larger project, such as cleaning and refinishing or painting. As a result, many workers are exposed to the hazards of sandblasting without adequate protection. Even if all sandblasting equipment is properly designed and regularly inspected, users must always be alert to the hazards of these operations and take precautions against harmful exposures. Airborne dust. This is one of the most serious hazards associated with blasting operations. When evaluating this hazard, it's important to consider the concentration of dust and the size of particles. Larger particles, considered nuisance dust, are normally filtered out in the nose and throat. Smaller particles, 10 microns or smaller, can bypass the lungs' filtering system and penetrate deep into the respiratory system, where they may cause serious damage. Safeguards are needed when smaller particles are present in the working environment. Metal dust, in addition to the abrasive being used, contributes to the generation of airborne dust. Metals such as lead, cadmium, and manganese can be extremely toxic when inhaled. Many existing paints have a lead base. Regulations require special handling, trained personnel, and medical monitoring when lead is present. If in doubt, check it out. Silica sand. This product is a potentially serious health hazard and should not be used as an abrasive. If silica-containing quartz materials are selected for any reason, workers must wear a positive pressure or pressure demand respirator with an assigned protector factor, APF, of either 1,000 or 2,000. Silica must be contained and disposed of properly. Even if a wet blasting method is selected, silica allowed to migrate by either wind or water will eventually become an airborne contaminant. Air supply. Air-supplied respirators must be used 1. When working inside of blast cleaning rooms, 2. When using portable units in areas without enclosure, and 3. Under any circumstances where the operator is not physically separated from the abrasive material by an exhausted enclosure. If airline respirators and compressors are used, make sure the intake hose is placed in an area that provides clean air. An attendant should be in the area at all times, monitoring breathing air and assuring the blaster's safety. Additional personal protective equipment. Blasting operations create high noise levels, so hearing protection is a must for both the operator and nearby workers. Operators should also use heavy canvas or leather gloves, aprons, or leggings when appropriate, as well as safety shoes. Handling and storing abrasives. Dust is nearly always created at any point where abrasives are transferred, whether by hand or shovel. Therefore, all points of transfer must be properly exhausted, and workers who handle abrasives manually should wear particulate filter respirators. The following is a list of construction materials that contain crystalline silica: brick, blasting abrasives, concrete, cement mortar, granite, sandstone, slate, mineral deposits, rock and stone, sand, topsoil, and asphalt. Occupations at high risk of silica exposure. Occupations that put workers at an increased risk of silica exposure include construction, demolition, mining, sandblasting, stonemasonry, abrasives manufacturing, glass manufacturing, pottery, railroad track setting, laying and repair, painting, and plumbing. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, requires employers to limit workers' exposure to crystalline silica by all available means, including water sprays, blasting cabinets, and ventilation systems.